So no panadum no one just the Kenyan.
Very well. And we are very grateful, sir, for joining here. Even through the rains, what to me, I'm making time with us. I'm very grateful for that.
We're in this together. We're in this together. Yes, we are. The vice president is grateful.
Very well. First of all, Jens Tate, sir, I feel we're joining high 92.9. So, Oshio TV, so this is Kessben TV. We are live on DSTV, channel 364. With DSTV, Go TV, channel 121. And Obetime Enya, normal digital, so Sectia. I dare say Ubenya na afi watime adjoin here. Numbers near 0550 596 929 0550 596 929 0550 567 929. Text lines are yeah, Juma. Dennis Miracle Abuaje, a campaign spokesperson for the vice president, Dr. Bawumia. Then it's so far so good. Campaign no saying Anna AC Echo.
Nyamiadum Dr. Bawumia
Kessben 92.9 Asidan Kwan
or declare intention or asylum down. Ubekaya or no any last person or yes our declaration of intent. No?
Yeah.
Since then no. In fact, if you asylum down or choir was so east straight, no go starting a campaign
on the same day.
The same day, and for 40 days in the vice president has been on the road. On rest here to sell his message.
Okay.
The over 200,000 over delegates. Say anka ebe yo mupa omuma no kwan na ondi yeko nenim.
Okay.
And fanko the next election. So far wako Greater Accra, Ashanti region, Western region, Central and Eastern region.
Okay.
And see why 5 regions.
Regions out of the 16.
So our 5 regions, you know, is made up of about 154 constituencies. And see, let's say across half.
Okay.
Of the 275 constituencies. And it's made up of 154 constituencies. It's made up of about 128,000 delegates.
Okay.
And see, it tells you the amount of work he's put in so far. Every day, or year average of about 4 constituencies. And once on also a campaign, no, or constituency,
yeah,
or and each of these 154 constituencies, one for one baby or no alcohol, any omoko komo. Every constituency be okasa not less than an hour and a half.
Okay.
And he's doing close to 6 hours of talking in a day. And he's done that across 154 constituencies. Menoka say, Namia next week Saturday, the Bay Super Delegates elections.
Yeah.
And you are aware it's a Super Delegates elections, you know. Party Brano, a specific group of people being on Motwaba.
Exactly.
And see, Kwesiada near the Eastern region, between now and next week Saturday, the vice president is working with the super delegates to ensure say a better about the next week Saturday and not overwhelming majority
Okay, so for now no engagement is focused on the people this Saturday coming week.
In the next 1 week, yes.
Okay, the next 1 week. Very well. We just have about 9 days more to go.
Yeah.
But response, aside the focus, as I say, more attention, we will come to the message you are selling to the delegate. But response, from the delegates, at the saying so far.
I think say in the west of the vice president.
Okay.
It's not bus anymore. Say the bus in the name.
Yeah.
I'll say he's overwhelmed. He's overwhelmed. This is no create because since we are we the speaker.
Kessben 92.9.
So Diana will catch you be a
Exactly.
Because Diana so and you know be a woman. In fact, to me so die. Now who me woman. But me no sad him.
Okay.
It's all now about catch him so die and run me no number baby.
Yeah.
Some me do wedi. Some minji wundi. Said ya woka na ye no kre. Say ye no kre. Wonye sure. Nti o ba beka tembia na brofo ye so butterflies. I am share kakra o msade kra mbe ka cheni obeji media na. Nti se wo do die so ekoka chiro bi. Na se nipa ne ka chere se oh ha wo ho. Na wo kra die na wo so ye no. No kra maso sa die ne dada. Intina me kra me twa ni mu say me so menya ho kwan na me no wadi nkomo ya na ema ahotoso bi ema abotoyem bi eba wo so, and that is how the energy across the country has been so far for the vice president.
Okay.
NPP for across the country on the told me say I see a win election 2024 because of their AC pain inti I see a win election 2024. Now you be win election 2024 there.
Kessben
strategic. And found say nipa ni etia and now yet tintin and I know fair and I know time. Nipa yene ne ko contest no and a NDC candidate Mahama. Into why in a way ku yimu a ne se ka se ye kwa abatwa se nanim eda paper no so na Mahama nim da paper no so a ebeye mre aman see bit be win elections no.
Okay.
Party for ni nim clear in their mind say sanipa no and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Into ye be dru kra na ye be kaya asem no. No man ka so ma ye ready dada.
I see.
Normally, we say also how vice. We are very clear. We want to win the next elections. So go and work hard and campaign and beat the NDC for us as a political party. It's been one of high energy. It's been one that constituencies, they are trying to outdo. In fact, this is a competition. Constituency be a person or say or no and now or no do vice president more.
Okay.
It's a very constituency back next one. Now. Next one,
energy level near different.
Previous constituency here, nobody be a cajon. Nobody beats you. Say, a course, I won't see trouble. And ama na ye energy, abanda ye ahunka, and just from could be about vice president. Until from the one constituency to the next,
you see the progress.
He is inspired.
Okay,
he is inspired. Obi to me, so I know a man in Sasso. I say. They are a sea Kofua Baimu in the year 2008. They are now Kofua Yina Bepemon 2008. You lose power. Yina Yihum baby or mine. And they said you could do it by the time we feel about 2016. Vice President, yes, slow. They say you be any retain power. No, should I retain my? I'll come to that aspect of the conversation.
Okay,
but so far there. I can tell you, say so far so good.
Okay, so far so good. It is what joining here. I mean, the campaign spokesperson for the Vice President, His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, Dennis Miracle Abuaje, and Edin Komo as campaign team and member, and then spokesperson for the presidential aspirant. Now, we just want to understand the focus of the Vice President. The reason why the delegate of the New Patriotic Party must give him that nod or the opportunity, say, Obetimi Abeye, the flag bearer of the party. Then it's yamra to the substantive issues. In all your engagement, any over 5 regions are more so far, what is the core message? Modema delegate, what does Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia seek to do for your party before Mpansana Yaba Ghana at large?
In fact, party the Ghana party, like I've said, political party there. What preoccupation is here about to number winning.
Exactly.
So we are party as a woman winning elections you don't exist. And see, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia the party for a choir or be faswa or be boa you could and we need the next elections.
Okay.
And they hire choir but party for the teen assembly year.
Okay.
To me who clearly say, based on Sanoma way, you did say papa in a bit to me to me I Amen. And they are very clear, very, very clear about it. Share Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia answer no be journey you could as a front runner.
Okay.
In 2008. Because I mean the highest way in our party and it's obey flag bearer and then a running mate. And see obey running mate or introduce a certain new breed of politics into your democracy. Answer now, Dr. Bawumia be unity in 2008. I call round a campaign. Free senior high school, 1 district, 1 factory, 1 this, 1 that. Digitalization, mobile money interoperability would make sure. Now, campaigner before then, running elections. Don't say this if one a few matches any kerosene, any meat pie, any tea bread campaign. Or mobile fear and a journey amount matches. Yes, okay, Kotoma Brunino. Only Bruni Quaeka. Yama, if she omukra kerosene or gallon, into a dua and a quail. Kerosene a quail. Those times. na me kotoba bi ha
Okay.
kotoba bi he usane he ya omo ba na yehwe kerosene kakra ma na ama akwa no yeyi unse hyehyɛ yi mi yes ade chia koto atoma broni no ye tea bread any meat pie
Kessben 92.9
so we are lucky no mu kwekura coins no na ye de maw say koto abama party we will not used to running an election with message and policies. This it was Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia started say Ghana for a dream who say hey say koto aba impenifo no to make the NTA nyina so to abama am I it's a stake in our head into me no ka say ne ubi o phone line CCC na say Ghana for nkyerɛ their MPP car say buy a 2008 so many
they will tell you
2012 they can tell you 2016 they can tell you 2020 they can tell you Today, the youth of this country can tell us, oh, Vice President can say about the rent assistance scheme.
Exactly.
Saying one of the reasons why NPP government we suffer a lot when it comes to critique, any probing, because everybody knows our message.
You set the standard for yourself.
So it's easy for people to say, what can I say about BSC? We cannot have same for other political parties because only the Osio Bampo Beye Nempo di Susu de and that is the kind of energy Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has brought into our politics. And as a result of that, the fortunes of MPP are improving hugely. And then Meno say, and me be an anka MPP, yen Ebeka say a no go area no because of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. I easy work for us. Obekaya, answer ye beche northern region, my Savannah, ne north east in the Kekam. Now you 31 seats, 31 parliamentary seats. Now NDC for about 27 or 28. Of that 31, MPP ne idea wumbe 3 or 4 pe. But as a result of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's personal value and then a contribution to our party, he dedicated his life and his time and everything between 2008 and 2016 in the northern part of Ghana. And making sure say he would work there to increase our fortunes, to complement what our party and our flag bearer brings onto the table. And in Tenamino Kasi, sa seats na 31, now NDC what 27 or 28, and then you were 16, and NDC were 15. You come.
Yeah.
And the hitherto weak area for the party, and then Mino Kasi, as a result of the vice president's own personal value and contribution to the party, we've outweighed the NDC in these areas. And you can't take it away from him. Okay. Say in the 2016 elections and the 2020 elections, Edu baby not Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Ghana Fokra Pene Hunokrasi flag bearer. You remember? He was prominent on and then at the front line of our campaign. You bet to me I saw no contribution to our victory in 2016. It showed 50 to 60%. We are not exaggerating. And that is why it is easy for a lot of people to pick on the vice president when it comes to your campaign in 2016 and 2020.
Because
I am telling you, okay, onona of fire your message, no, the Nante Ghana. So I just say, and ever since he became vice president, and so on, you from 1992, Bepemona started fourth Republican democracy. We've never had any vice president. Why ye Juma are visible and prominent are contributed towards the success of a president than Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. I mean, ene ye ka nanadwa ye se na ye ka abanya ye se na Akufo-Addo Bawumia ban. In fact, opa me NDC panelists metna wa hwe ko mon kana nado Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. And there's a reason. When have we ever had such a scenario? 1992. Yes, Rollins Aban. How many people even knew Aka? Ebi mo beti Aka after he was slapped.
Yeah.
Ye bo Aka sum, President bo Aka sum as vice president. Ebi beti say vice president be a friend Aka. Atamils buy, and Atamils are buying. How many times did you hear Atamils Mahama buying? It was only when Atamils a setting up committee so probi the vice president friend say John Mahama. It was bribery and corruption issues here UK Yansa. Ebi mo say Mahama oho. And I feel along the line, Nyame fa ne krensie Atamils betwe mu kwa answer ye hu say Mahama kra so ye den. Oh. Mahama be di president yi. What say ye ka Mahama akwesi bi sata abanda. De bia Mahama ban. De bia Mahama ban meboa. But for the first time we are hearing the vice president even more than the president. It tells you his contribution. He has been a running mate and a vice president in this country for at least 4 elections. If you be any woman Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, Abroad be any woman Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, Akole be any woman Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and this is the value that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia brings onto the table, and the party people know and they understand because omo no mo door to door, omo no mo house to house, omo no mo nim nipa. Ebeye mresa obetumi atona magana for mama ede. Ghana for not saying say they are looking out for an overnight in New York City, and an overnight London City. Omo pe omampenia obema ya assurance and hope. In times of crisis, who would be able to stand up for the people, mobilize the people, and lead us out of the crisis? And that is what Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia represents. In the party, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia represents your biggest chance to beat the NDC
in breaking the eight.
In the country, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia represents the hope and the future of this country. You're a leader or GDA strongko ewo enema pa ban we ababeye because you see na me tse nko for keka
Kessben 92.9
baby na ye what 2016 no see ye kase ye de compare baby na ye won ne and you say nanka ye toaso from baby na ye what 2016 nanka will be in the most terrible situation that we are today. As at 2016 no my way not nurse for any teacher for my year or school 4 5 years 6 years almost to Google few. As at 2016, can me for Kessben as that house, and can generate a system na model power my radio station. And until that Ghana radio station spawn 10 p.m. A lot of media houses laid off their workers and their staff because of high cost of operations. Okotama factories epamo Ghana for continent, Ghana for back continent fee. You converted factories into churches.
Kessben 92.
Your social safety guards are your my way mu. E here for ma. Allowances omutuminya enti emombako nursing college ni teacher college ye gifi omunsem empo asa 2016 se otie ye na se we teacher ni etumi fa wadwuma mu kra o start adwuma ye sisike ni ho ntu de adwuma ye betua oka wa ye adwuma enfie baako 1 year 12 months ese ye tua oka ye betua ye se ye niska nti ye betua 3 months oman we mu esane school adan na ni ho dormitory blocks ani ho nti nkola wiye JHS when you grade 10, it's when you school mukwain because of cutoff points. And kwala 135,000 and afibia between 2009 and 2016. No more katinefie multiply and see. In the 8 years of that situation can and kakain kwala do and kebe katinefie within that period. Not because we're born, not because on your own school. Nemo one school fees no at that time no ed to the extent say. So when your first year admission or secondary school, we have 7,000 and so what you have to tell when you're making with your admission fee at school. Nempo, Temubiano, we have 2,500 and so what you have to school. Only be into a colony year school, or Siama, my man found Kosia the palm. Or Sequedu, my man found Kosia mechanic. Here at the permanent mechanic, and a hairdresser in a Jumesia, and Yard the Bonio. Nemum, Sakolana co school, no co secondary school, no can once or be the pound, and answer Wabaya the Pemuni. Oko school ne ka ho aso abeye mechanical e ma na dwuma no ekoyie e ma ne nimdie no ekoanim. And that is why we keep saying say no matter what obane beye teach obeye adepamuni o obeye hairdresser o obeye mechanical secondary education na e be ma ne hu de fe ne ledger book de ma obama ne hu de fe no account book na we hu so bi to ade a metro ne din wa ha na metro sika do otu ya me o de meka metie fi mu no e se so otumi sua anye sa emfa ho de pamo besua emfa ho mechanical besua no na dwuma no enko nanim enu nti no oban we baaye obeyi sa eka no ene sa hinti dua ni nyina efiri mu se na be ya Ghana for betumi nyam kwan no. Imagine say niaba mabubo asa ya chewe yina yi ye to aso ene ye ma NDC santina be mu bepem 2020 ye benya covid a wiase afa na nyina ko ha na ohihie mu na sambre ne ye sanso wo nipa dudu gu fie omunye adwuma ya ye ntumi ntu omuka na sambre ne ye san wo kane adundum na sambre ne ye san wo nkola o ma wie so mu kosko mu ntumi nkosko. Imagine what we would have been in even in the current situation. And then poni you and then po ye betumi aka say ye kane agina so mpodie and then po ye betumi aka say ye nkwala bebre kosko mpodie. And then, you bet me, I can say, next for the teacher for a year, you may tweet your company. Imagine if we continued from where we were in 2016. And what Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is saying is that where we have gotten to, we need to protect what we've been able to do.
The promise of hope, as you gave in 2016 and in 2020, many are saying, sir, you promised a lot, but it looks as if, sir, little and more deliver on economy, on the progress of the individual livelihood, almost standards, any the NPP gave the country a lot of hope. Now, the belief is that challenges are happening in challenges are it came as a result of some mismanagement, and then there may be a monster down to 2 years, of which the NDC attributes that to the vice president, especially when it comes to the economy.
You see, the economy there. And misinformation and misrepresentation we are cause economy anything. Education income, human capital. If for 4 to 8 years, Uja and Kwalabe 1 million tenefia, do you know what you are doing to your economy?
You're not developing the human race.
If for 4 to 8 years, Wakania edunduma, do you know what will happen to your economy? If for 4 to 8 years, Senkwala and implement for your renal hospital, na insurance, egua, do you know what will happen to your economy? If for 4 to 8 years, Uwa Juma, your form year Juma, and so won't into your moka, and into my despondent, do you know what will happen to your economy? If you have an economy where people, when they are sick, cannot even have access to the hospital, do you know what will happen to your economy? I think what we usually want to talk about are macroeconomic indicators, which of course can always be disturbed if the fundamentals are weak. And in building the fundamentals, it takes a long while. And that's what we've been doing. When we came to office, we said it clearly, and that hasn't changed, that the fundamentals of this economy are weak. So our economy, okra will be including in Suo, if you are broaching bar. Our economy, it would suffer when there is the slightest of cough from the global.
Yeah, the hope was that that base was going to be changed.
But it takes a while, and between the two parties, we are the ones who have showed working. Sure. When NDC came to power in 1992, with the democracy that we had, between 92 and 2000, they sold 300 factories. They passed a law called Diversity Implementation Act. You know, set up Diversity Implementation Committee and the collapse factories in Bako 300. Imagine say our factories, they did not collapse it. Yeah, for the first time in the history of our Fourth Republic, you have a government that deliberately is working with private sector to set up industries. What are those industries supposed to do? Those industries are supposed to boost local production. Send a beya normal na ye krefi abrochie no ye better so. Ye ba ye send dako farms egu meboa. Enti ne ye kra nkoko no doduo bebre fi abrochie. Ene dako farms ya revive it. Into no matter how you look at it, nkoko na ye kra fi abrochie ba no, emu doduo no dako farms are stop affect gap no. Enti ye kra bebre ba de, but nka ye anye dako farms anka ye be kra more than what we are doing now. We have a lot of factories that are being built across the country. Some are completed, some are operational, some are still under construction. It will take a while. But the good news is that
you're almost getting 7 years.
Yes, but you need 10 to 15 years to industrialize. You need 10 to that is the truth. Mother, Mr. Kessben, some of the factories.
Yeah.
Bisano, Obekachino. See how long it's taking some of them to actually get to the point that they've got into. It's a factory to grab it to me see. Also, we see bottling company. We see a plant in our tunnel. Plant in a bit to me a bottle, a beer, 1,000 bottles a day. But I won't start with 1,000 bottles a day. We'll start with 50. Now it's scaling up. Now it's scaling up. Now it's scaling up. So it will take a while.
Okay. Unfortunately
for us, just when we're putting these fundamentals together in 2020, we encountered a global supply chain disruption as a result of COVID. Okay. And see, definitely so we are now trying to recover out of that shock, and then we can get back on the path of growth. But in getting back on the path of growth, you don't go and pick the one that couldn't do what it is that you are even doing.
And also normally hate your candidates, because those macroeconomic indicators, were things that was stressing on during his campaign engagement. Any idea, now they tell you, sir, he's running away from those indicators. The same measure, what they mad the previous government, as Ghanaians are using the same measure to measure him based on what kind of promises I will give you out, It looks as if, as I said, with Ghanaian free economy, yes, something else, and yeah, not precisely, or promising Ghana.
Why, Papa, one of those propagandas in this for their 2 months.
You think so?
And I'm also because will be Ghanaian free economy any day. ene na me no ka say nipa no osoro no pa ye commission schools, ye commission hospitals, ye commission factories, ye commission nyama bebre towards the growth of the economy. In to say we if economy on day between 2017 and 2020, which was our first term of 4 years now, near global economic shock. No? Did you see these challenges? Why do we want to always run away from the fact that the global economy has been disrupted? Why do we want to run away from that?
But other countries are recovering.
Like what? Give me one. But Ghana, are we not recovering? Are we not recovering? Which country?
Recovering in the state, are you almost the same?
But why? Go to the US. Wait, go to the US. Go to the US. For the last 40 years, they've never seen the kind of inflation they are seeing today. Go and check their interest rates. UK, some points last year, within 6 months, no master prime ministers, because the economy was struggling. Germany, almost shorty is some. Turkey, inflation 80%. And when I'm going away in a fever. And see, what are we talking about? Every country is trying to recover. All countries are trying to recover. Even countries that were deflating, countries like Japan and Co, they were deflating. And then they all have high inflationary rates.
So do we say that Dr. Bawumia is still at post when it comes to managing the economy?
But that is his job. And he hasn't run away from that. Meaning it is you who is saying it. It is those who are spinning propaganda who are saying it. Dr. Bawumia has always admitted our challenges and has always given indications of how he believes we are going to recover. One more example. You had a crisis in oil, fuel prices last year. Within a space of 6 months, near fuel price and I'm about 24 cities.
Yes.
Wasn't that that period that Dr. Bawumia announced a good for oil policy? Hasn't it brought it down from 24 cities to 11 cities and now about 13 cities? Imagine if the gold for oil policy was not introduced at the time it was introduced. We'll probably be buying fuel around 30 cities today, not as a result of anybody's fault, but simply because we have disruptions from suppliers. We have disruptions from places where we trade with. And you know, your currency suffer. And if our currency is suffering and we are also importing so much and looking for the dollar to go and buy, then obviously we are going to be affected.
The uniqueness of our structure of the economy, so quick because we all knew what the challenges were at the time I'm taking office. But still, no structure creating problems. And so dependent on other Western economies, those structures now are still now.
It's not true.
You think so?
Let me tell you. Industrialization is one of the things we need to fix. Okay, so we want to compare. Let's say we have a policy and we have it to show that we have a government that is deliberately working with private sector to build factories. Is it true or not?
True.
Exactly. And then we have
but you have said the effectiveness of it will take you a very long time.
Exactly. And that is fact. And it doesn't matter even if you change. So we need free now better now it will take that period. Okay, there's no magic wand. So you are measuring human beings. You are not measuring terrestrial beings. So I just say and see obi a show working o say there be any on 20 kofa de on buy one show working.
So the hope is that said Dr. Bawumia to us
human capital in kwale egufie omunye adwuma ye omu do you know what, every day that we put unproductive young people on the street, we are burdening the few productive ones who are working.
Okay.
Every day and human capital is crucial. We are the only government that has come and said, let's fix the human capital situation once and for all. Because there has always been that huge vacuum between basic education and GHS, and tertiary. And say, let's push basic education from GHS to SHS. So that akolanu SHS grants one to asokra at least was skills. Last 3 days, who needs to every girls, nkola omoye home economics, or my parliamentary complete. Inti by the time we bring girls no o we empona se wan to aso kra o tumi fa ne machine bi den pam na de on pam keke but at least onim expenditure and income otiase. That is what we are talking about. Health on my way saying ya aban way na what take health head on I fix here. Anka, did you even know say all the way from Equiapem bepem Madina your district hospital ba kope. In fact, within the range of 5 districts, okay, Equiapem North, Equiapem South, Adenta, and Madina, no, your district hospital back up. Our bed cry into 120. COVID by no, Nami MC. Yenam secondary schools, no, and a pa schools, so my infa, or dying, and Magana for and them. unam hospital Ghana ni wenya covid oda fam no no akra ni oxygen no krampo no o de kakra to no hwea no de amobi no nipa no so ehia kakra. We're trying to fix it. And it was not just about spinning the propaganda. It is about saying, say, indeed, we have challenges. Indeed, we have difficulties. But between the two political parties, who has shown evidence, say, oh, yeah, Juma. It's not enough for you to come and say, oh, NPP focus on about May 20, but my 10 pe into Muntuntium. Oh, buy no, focus on 3, but we 1. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. I can give you a promise of 50. 50 promises. May I 40, Ebeka 10. What my 10 promises? We mu 2. Me am here 50, am here mu 40. Me better than who we 10. Who promise 10 we mu 2 no. Me boa. That is what we are talking about. And let me give you a quick rundown, a quick historical check. Ebia now review. President Kufuor, NPP Abanwe, Yeba Abemu in the year 2000. Na Ghana, we were on our knees. We had no fiscal space to do anything. That was the time. We had to declare ourselves a very high poor country, indebted country, and see in your space to develop it. But the time I could do the year 2008, na Ghana, you see the gateway to Africa. Na kukumlemle ka price. So utifia na banks ba ufie se beje bosia na fa ko ejuma meboa. Standard Chartered Bank, Barclays Bank, Fidelity Bank. Have you forgotten?
Because they used to come to our home. Exactly. That is the kind of economy President Kufuor left for us. Okay, that's the kind of economy. An economy where by the time he was living, dollar to cedi was about 0.9 pesos. So what you see? Almost say, Sambreno, we're in a golden age of business. But do you know what happened? Somewhere June 2008, President Kufuor encountered 2 challenges. One, a fuel crisis. Now could be 3 days until when you fuel at all. Okay. In the same period, President Kufuor encountered water shortage in Suwa Benom. Enti anope bia na nkofo kra yellow gallons no nobody down and Kufuor gallon ye dey. Now, after all the things Kufuor had done, because don't forget, President Kufuor is the one who made Ghanaians realize what we call social interventions. President Kufuor na may hu ye say, "Hey, see to me for oman ni sika. E de boy nyina ho akoma, e me nyina nya ho faso." Yeti yi, say wo for oman ni sika na de koye airport so nyane ya. Ye take car price, so nyane airport e fa ye ho ben. Meboa. Exactly.
Wo for oman ni sika na de koye kwan e wo da. Yeah, so you can have a government come into place, and for 8 years, if you don't take care, unye bibi and free no. So when you when see hospital, when see school, I won't put him out. Meanwhile, when the minister here say there can never be a government that will be to me infrastructure in across the country. You agree?
Yeah.
So President Kufuor now realized that listen, whilst we are fixing things across the country for various constituencies, we need something that every Ghanaian everywhere can say, my government came and this was my benefit. National health insurance, school feeding program, capitation for basic education to make it free. In fact, by the time before President Kufuor came to office, and I'm taking you on a historical journey, na Ghana ha ye kan ye budget e parliament na ye kan maternal mortality rate.
Exactly.
And the infant mortality rate. You remember? Kwesi Botwe, Obeka budget no before Obeka into prices of tomatoes and price of adiade no. Obeka chain. This year, maternal mortality rate is infant mortality rate is. Do you know what that meant? What it meant was that near can kai a mado do omukwa was omuye. Near can kai and kolado do a yakwa omuye. That is how pathetic we were as a country. President Kufuor fixed it. The reason was that the children were dying at birth and the mothers were dying at birth simply because only sika or the Bekoko hospital. Into a wakana or defie, not moje to no we woo. Or you're looking at a fana, you didn't do hospital, no we woo. Simply because of payment. And I could for any free maternal care day. A buyer, free maternal care buyer, and a fixed infant mortality rate and a maternal mortality rate. Today, you have hospitals who will tell you, say, they have 0 death at birth.
Kessben 92.5.
President Kufuor, you know what way now? Or you inside your way now. But you do 2008 or encounter 2 crises. 2 crises. Because the fuel price crisis, you remember, I said, we got to a point that same 2018 in global economic crunch. Wall Street issue, you remember? Okay. Sad time, and I NDC for a far paper. with the help of some media people, and on radio station to radio station. Moshe President Kufo bank account to ADB. Moshe way bank account. Moshe anane bank account. Omo Yeska, Omo Yese. President Kufo ni gize yezi akwa ntafo. Paul and Peter also join on there and then ebi chana President Kufo ntafo nebeba.
You think said the same thing that air transition?
The same thing that happened in 2008. You know? That is what is playing out. Eventually, Ghanaians fell for the propaganda and the spin and did not allow the NPP to continue the entire starting. What did we experience? When the NDC came, every single good thing President Kufo had started, they even sent us deeper into a hole. The result was what we experienced in 2016. Enti de ekanyina ne se ene nyame ayadom yenya aban foforo no kre niema e kase ebe ye no enye ni nyina na yetu bia ye badodo na de e fa ne sector by sector there's been an improvement, but there are challenges with our macroeconomic indicators, no doubt about that.
Okay,
but in ensuring say we protect the little we've been able to do so that the akayen to me, you know, that is why we need to retain this government to ensure say yen roll it back BM like we experienced after we pushed out President Kufuor's government.
This one says that good morning, Mr. Speaker. Please tell him that they should abolish the bet tax they just introduced on us. His boss actually promised us not to tax the poor. What else can this government do without taxing the poor? Election 2024 awaits them. Let miracle understand. Very well. Thank you for a message. You know.
Bet for poor.
So they do the betting to sustain them.
And your mom will do it.
But majority of the youth
actually,
yeah.
And you no pay. Unum go for to bet on phones. And your mom will do manko. You do a side hustle. No. So what you say, but I mean, the point is that Tibet, with the 1 cedi at Tibet, no with the 100 cedi. Far 10 cedi be supported on my name. Some know to way. Next week, Yami I don't need a car. Yami I don't need a chair. Yakrana, Yasra, Matia Babetra, Jumaya, the young one, the Abbey Juma, yet and free. Yet your chair can see a tea and tax.
Yeah.
And now they also. What's why Juma? So better also with Juma no. That's why you don't say my hand. Now they are here. Now they all say my hand.
I see. This one says that good morning, Speaker. Miracle has spoken well, but he should know that his boss promised more than they could do. The more reason why Ghanaians are now judging them according to what they said. Thank you. Baroski in Assessewa said, good morning, Speaker. Dennis Miracle Abuaje has spoken well. The NDC's manifesto stated clearly in 2020 that they will levy sports betting. Today, every Ghanaian average person must understand that this was a promise by the NDC. So there is nothing wrong if there is an indication from this government to implement same. We must be hopeful of the NPP's government. Thank you. Ada Ode Abba. Capito in Go also says that good morning, Mr. Speaker. In fact, Ghanaians should continue to vote for the NPP because they are the only party that can transform this country. Indeed, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has done more than enough for our party. Thank you for a message. You know, it is only 31 after 8. Kessben 92.9. Say, TV. This is Kessben Television. Many Dennis Miracle Abuaje, campaign spokesperson for the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, His Excellency Anna Edin Komo. Many wrap it up shortly. Na Mejani said the Juma endorsed. Dennis, we are so much happy with the endorsement Amonya so far.
So far, so good. Say, Ejumei, well, you need to say Vice President. On a party in Pennyful, the Indian South over the years. And see, say, Okasa way, I didn't say Nipanibi. Omo no man Nantinians also be doing one dance here. And Nana Ayas and Papa. So all candidates.
Did you consider that to be right? And I want to say you're wrong, including the party executives, Ayatu Ababo. They are not supposed to openly endorse one candidate or the other.
Again, let me correct it. It is not true that party executives are not supposed to openly. It is not true.
Your initial guidelines stated so.
No. That time no be a nomination yet. Party executives from polling station, executives.
Exactly.
Constituency executives, executives. Regional executives, the only category of people in these elections are to member bontain publicly and the national executives because more organizing elections. No, that's what it is. Say, what your constituency elections are. regional executives na organizing until they cannot show interest. We hear polling station elections are constituency executives na organizing until they cannot show interest. That is how it is. In this particular election, regional executives are just delegates. Omomu delegates. Tisanya obi ababe campaign achro sebeto abama no. So they are allowed. There's no law that stops them from. Every voter, every party member or tuaba ononka election management team no. They are allowed to declare their
including
their
government appointees.
Na government appointees so mukra party nkomo. Na government appointees komo ntoba. Government appointees no ministers spend to be. CEOs omo ni vote. Omo to be. No on to aba ne bi. Enti ono na de no to be declare on to be. I'm just giving you the facts.
Yes, I know you are saying it, but I'm asking because you have ministers openly.
Why not? Say you don't organize elections. And I make sure say, no a delegate. Minister no a delegate. MP no a delegate. I don't organize elections.
It's taking incumbency advantage.
No. Now deputy finance minister, minister for railways, MP for Botsiano English, MP for Anyaso, MP for Tema West. Somebody declare my other candidates. Now, 138. Now 120 declare. Now 18 declare more. 18 declare one, they won't come myself. Now 120 declare. No more declare my sanka ope.
Oh, sir.
No more declare my sanka. Now, other than 18 declare more, they won't complain. The reason why you are complaining is because when you're 120, no, we are asking for more. In fact, Sir 18, no cry, you say any more kasa. Every day we are getting more onto our side.
Oh, sir.
Why not? That's a you're running campaign. We need more numbers, and we are not going to stop.
So you are rest assured of Dr. Bawumia's victory in both the special delegate one and then the one ahead of November.
Landslide, no doubt about that.
I see.
Because party funny you're convinced. Say, I see win elections. I see win elections in India and found some miracles here in and I am a down for own to me winning tia Mahama. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia pena ene at this point in time in the life of our party. We to me winning elections against FNC John Domani.
I out to the other aspirant they can. Said there is no tradition like Buzia Dombo tradition. And nobody should say and claim say if we don't say na but there is nothing like that in your party.
Dr. Mahmoud
Bawumia cannot make claims.
Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has never made claims to any route. He's making claim to his contribution to our party in his lifetime. That's what he's telling the people. He has never stood anywhere.
Page your microphone.
Uncle baby ada enko kind say dia ye na no me na no ye ma mi ntu ba ma. Uncle bi da. Dr. Bawumia ka say nyina obetie ni ya. E de ono na bra bom ne mbrem. Oye ma kuo no. Omo rally on the omo na no ma ye. Ene eduru omo so ne ade no mo wo ho. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has never claimed any sense of entitlement to our party. Or the kotosre ahombrase kasapa ene asama eto asum eno ne party for edi hu komo se megidi se me en esompa me de asum ekuo we ene ekwan a me ne mo aye adwuma no se mo hwe so na mo de ema me na me di ko yin ma metumi abo ekuo no. That has been his message.
I see.
As for the tradition of the party near Asalam down in the headquarters war, I'm not betting the tradition of the party. But Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is running this election on his own merits.
Is this brochure part of my campaign message? Bawumia outlines 100+ achievement of the NPP government as of June 2023, and you've listed a lot of enema mobile as of 2016. This is what I'm talking about, miracle. You've listed some of them, and then you've listed a lot of together with picture evidence and nearby be a mobile but transforming. When I'm a culture delegate, Nana, what is in this book? I know you have a copy of it.
Oh, yeah, my copy. My culture will say your elections are on two legs. You chill politics, political party. If you are near chill, say, oh, mine, the idea be doing. Senyamia adona mobuane to me the politics no political parties and some to me near or mind the idea be doing. Esa sanema we ne ebo ho ban na yesanso to aso. Nipa owogidie wo aban we mu. Nipa owogidie wo ye party ni mu. Ono etu ne ho asi wo se enso mu ewie mu ye party ne ya ban no obegina ho na wabo ye nipa no ho ban na wasanso de ye ntumi ye no. Waje atomu ye ntumi ye no waje atomu na wasanso ayama ye no on Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Enti niam wo mu nyina no eye niam a ye de kire party for say ye ba ye no niam ni bia yetumi ye ni sa niam we si anhwe ni ye ni ye jai na say NDC ba be fa on be say no omo say ne ye ba ye anso ne ye be say friends ye mbra be siesie no And we don't want to experience what happened in the post-Kofor era.
Okay.
Everything Kofor did was destroyed. And then we had to come in 2017 to try and fix it. And that is why we are saying, say, let's protect the gains. Let's consolidate the gains. And then the few we haven't been able to do, no, we should allow Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia to introduce those things for us.
Your message to the delegates that young fancy made him say, "Oh, near my doors, not Minjao, not call." The best answer didn't come after the special delegate one.
Yene party for it didn't come.
Okay.
So far, Ashanti, Greater Accra, Western, Central, and Eastern region. 5 regions, 154 constituencies, 128,635 delegates, and in the last 40 days. Aka 16 regions. If you next week, within the next 1 week, you're close to 1,000 super delegates, party delegates, engineer firm, MIA, almost Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and this was the Honim, Omofan Nante, Omofan Railway Fium, Ubia Onya Embeka, enter Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, Casanase. By the time I bet to a baby on 26th of August, near to a baby on the 4th of November. Everybody in this country should see an overwhelming support and endorsement for the vice president. One that would bring the NPP out as a united party as we venture into election 2024. Now, say, based on the experience in the past, and they are between 2017 to 2020 now, yet to me, I know, but Kendi Nipa, a good leader, and yet they are, Yebeka say, on the or how any man in whom maybe. Nipe biya no mo ha ohane won amani hu beba ne mo kendi ni papa ene kendi ni asa ohane amani hu ba onto ne sanko enwie mu no nka se me de ma brent bejai de amope bia mo ye ne mo oboaboa mu nyina no na otwen efi ohane. A good leader is not the absence of challenges. A good leader is the courage in the presence of challenges to mobilize the people and get them out of it. In the past experience, when we had crisis between 2013 and 2016, which was domestically motivated, the president told us, say, why you doing funu, and yet the kana OTA. Udundum kania, no was saying to electricity bills, yes, it's so, was a social air jai phone charge. The minister said, catch and say, Mranti Pejuma, Munkucha grass, and go quite on Monton. Omo catch and say, Mranti Pejuma, Munko Paibo, no Philip potholes. Under this particular government, the Nadan Kwekufa and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, we are saying that no, when we have crisis, we work ourselves out together and make sure that we get back on our feet. That is why in the year 2022 November, fuel prices score yakopem 24 cities. And so you to me share to kwemene atiaba fem almost about 11 cities aiden. If you swa you swa ye prayer na kofem no. Every day we review the strategies and tactics to ensure that things will improve. Dollar equaya kopem 17 cities. And then you swa ye pema ababedu 11.3. We are still pushing it downwards. Obekaya vegetable oil equaya kopem be 1,500 cities yellow gallon okay. And manu sunyasa and emeno kase ababedu 450 to 500 cities. Never in the history of this country and adebibo akosro asayeden abafem, but we are experiencing it. We have challenges. We have difficulties, no doubt. Niemamu ayeden. But between the NPP and NDC, the one that can actually work with us and get out of these challenges is the NPP, led by Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. If we fall for the NDC antics, we are rather going to push ourselves deeper into a hole like they did to us after President Kufuor's era. And that's why we continue this advocacy.
All right, Dennis, I'm very good.